What comes to mind when you think of pirates? Black flags, eye patches, hooks for hands, and a parrot on their shoulder? Or do you think of ruthless criminals that terrorize the seas? We dive into the real world of pirates and uncover how they became such a powerful force. Close your eyes and imagine yourself caught in the middle of a raging storm. The sails are filling with wind, waves crash onto the deck, and in the distance, you spot a black flag with a huge skull on it. These are the most feared sailors in history, pirates. Piracy is nearly as old as seafaring itself, with the first pirates dating back to the 14th century. Even the pharaohs of Egypt had to deal with this menace. The Mycenaeans and Phoenicians, who controlled maritime trade in the Aegean and Mediterranean, would attack other trade ships and steal their goods while they conducted business through legitimate means. These guys essentially took over the Mediterranean, setting up base in places like Cilicia, modern-day southern Turkey, and raiding Roman trade ships. They became so powerful that Roman senators even had to bribe them. Julius Caesar was even captured by these pirates. He was freed after his ransom was paid, but later came back and had every one of them killed for revenge. Rome eventually built a massive navy to wipe out the pirates, but that didn't mark the end of piracy. In the 8th century, Europe faced a new nightmare: the Vikings. These brave Scandinavian warriors not only raided, but also set out on great sea voyages, terrorizing places from England and France to even Constantinople. What set them apart from other pirates? The Vikings were so fast with their legendary longships that they could raid a village, disappear, and strike another port before anyone had time to react. Their ships turned them into the stuff of nightmares. Gold, silver, and even slaves became important commodities for the Vikings. They would raid everywhere, capturing and selling slaves. These attacks weren't just for riches. Their belief in Valhalla drove them to seek new victories, heroic deaths, and endless battles. In short, the Vikings were not just sailors. They were the personification of fear and war. The terrifying power behind their legends made them one of history's most ruthless pirates. Then, there were the Arab pirates. Especially around Andalusia, Sicily, and southern Italy, Muslim pirates were raiding trade ships. In the 9th century, they left a significant mark on the coast of Italy. However, piracy was never just about looting. Pirates sometimes acted as secret agents for states. The Ottoman Empire's greatest weapon in the Mediterranean was its pirates. Who were the Ottoman pirates? The Ottoman pirates were the most feared sailors in the Mediterranean, and at the helm of this power were Oruç Reis and his brother Barbarossa Hayreddin Pasha. Initially, they were merchants, but after being attacked by the Knights of Rhodes, they were forced to turn to piracy to survive. In the 16th century, they seized Algiers and established an independent state there. Faced with constant attacks from the Spanish, they sought help from the Ottoman Empire, and Algiers became part of Ottoman territory. Barbarossa Hayreddin Pasha went on to become the Ottoman admiral, strengthening the navy and securing Ottoman dominance in the Mediterranean. In 1538, he defeated Europe's largest navy in the Battle of Preveza, making the Ottomans the uncontested power in the Mediterranean. Under his leadership, the Ottoman fleet maintained superiority for years, and Barbarossa is still remembered as one of the greatest names in naval history. Piracy peaked in the 17th and 18th centuries. As European powers established colonies in the Americas, they were transporting gold, silver, and valuable goods by ship. But there was a problem. Seas were out of control. The Caribbean pirates, from the 16th to the 18th century, essentially ruled the Caribbean Sea and expanded their dominance over the surrounding waters, creating immense fear among European powers. These pirates emerged during Europe's efforts to explore and conquer new lands, and their presence was a major threat to colonial trade routes, pirate centers, and privateering. The main regions for pirate activity included the Caribbean Sea, as well as the western coasts of South America, Central America, and the eastern shores of North America. Many pirates set up bases on islands like Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and especially Tortuga Island. Tortuga acted like a free zone, where pirates could build new ships, share their loot, and rest. Sometimes pirates were known as privateers. These were pirates who were officially authorized by their governments to attack enemy ships and steal their goods. For example, the British Royal Navy would support privateer pirates to target the French or Spanish. These pirates fought on behalf of states while also amassing personal wealth. Famous privateers included Sir Francis Drake and Henry Morgan. What was life like for a pirate? Being a pirate usually required naval experience and courage. Those wishing to join a pirate ship would typically volunteer. Many pirates were former sailors from naval or merchant fleets. These crews followed a set of pirate laws, which often included sharing the loot and making democratic decisions about ship operations. There was often a level of equality on pirate ships, and this created a somewhat libertarian atmosphere in some pirate communities. Legendary Caribbean pirates. Blackbeard, Edward Teach. One of the most famous Caribbean pirates, Blackbeard terrorized the Caribbean between 1717 and 1718. Not only was he known for his intimidating appearance, but he also used fearsome tactics, like lighting his beard on fire to appear even more terrifying. He commanded a crew made up of sailors he had forcibly recruited. In 1718, before being killed by the British Navy, Blackbeard captured several ships and amassed a fortune in loot. Captain Kidd, William Kidd. Captain Kidd began as a privateer, commissioned by the British government to fight pirates in the Indian Ocean. However, Kidd soon turned to piracy himself. In 1698, he set out with his ship, Adventure Galley, in search of treasure. But after conflicts with his crew and accusations of piracy, he was captured and executed in 1701. His treasure has since become the subject of many legends. Anne Bonny. Anne Bonny was one of the most famous female pirates of the Caribbean. Born in 1697, she was from a wealthy family, but after meeting pirates, she joined them and fought bravely alongside male pirates. She is most famous for her association with the notorious pirate Calico Jack Rackham. In 1720, she was captured and imprisoned. According to legend, she escaped execution by claiming to be pregnant, after which her whereabouts remain a mystery. The golden age of Caribbean piracy lasted until the early 18th century, when pressure from the British and Spanish navies caused it to diminish. However, these pirates have lived on as legendary figures, immortalized in popular culture through films like Pirates of the Caribbean. Modern piracy. Today, piracy remains a serious threat, especially off the coast of Africa and parts of Asia. One of the most well-known examples is Somalia. The civil war and lack of government authority in Somalia allowed pirates to use the region as a base, targeting commercial ships and demanding ransom for their release. Since the early 2000s, Somalia has been one of the most dangerous regions for global maritime trade. Other regions, like Indonesia and West Africa, also see high levels of piracy. The Strait of Malacca, one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, is a hotspot for pirate activity. These attacks are typically short, with pirates quickly raiding ships and disappearing. Modern pirates use technology effectively, utilizing tools like GPS and radar to easily track ships' locations and plan attacks. They can even board ships, seize control, and demand large ransoms. International cooperation, maritime security operations, and regional interventions are crucial in combating piracy, but piracy continues to be a persistent issue in certain regions. Tackling piracy requires not just military action, but also economic, political, and social reforms.